All right, what is going on, everyone? So today, there's no Chainsaw Man this week. So, in place of that, somebody had a good idea on Sunday. We're going to be catching up on Magilumiere. Magilumiere is a unique magical girl manga that has its very first anime season coming out this October. Now, I have started Magilumiere. I started it a while ago. I think it's awesome. I think it's got one of the best art styles out right now. Unique characters, unique fights, just an all around really fun manga. So I fell off, and now I would like to catch back up before the anime starts, and I think a lot of other people would like to as well. So, as always, we'll give everyone a few minutes before we get started. Hello to everyone in the chat. If you missed it, we're just giving everyone a few minutes before we start the stream. But, of course, as you can tell by the stream title, we will be reading Magilumiere today. I have to look and see what chapter we're on. I'm reading it on my phone because Manga Plus is a very weird system where you have to read it on your phone and not the website. We'll be reading chapter 61. Let's go, Blazing Boy. This stream is actually thanks to you, so I hope you enjoy this one because you gave me the idea for it. And it couldn't have been timed better because there's no Chainsaw Man this week. I wanted to read Chainsaw Man, but of course, there's no Chainsaw Man. So what better time to read Magilumiere than this week? In the meantime, I'm just going to share this on Twitter. I was wondering, will you actually do it? And you did. Yes, exactly. Well, also, it's part of why I do these streams is because it kind of holds me accountable to actually read the manga that I say I want to read. So, like, if I do a Magilumiere stream like this one, then what other choice do I have than to sit here and read Magilumiere? Which I've been saying I'm gonna catch up to for like months now. Well, we got a nice little subscribe there. Thank you, Master Trevor Man. You did so many catch-up streams, and I just wanted to suggest it. No, yeah, that's exactly what this is for. If there's ever another manga you want me to catch up to that either I read or you want me to check out, just shout it out in the chat or on the community page or in a comment on a video, and I'll do my best to fit it in somehow. That's exactly what we're here to do. All right, we're all set on Twitter. Do I have a Fire Punch video? No, I do not. I wrestled with the idea for a bit, but so many people have done basically the same video. Like, oh, the manga before Fire Punch, or is Fire Punch better than Chainsaw Man? Like, so many people have done that video where, unless I can kind of come up with a unique position on that manga, I don't feel like I will do a video myself. I would like to, because I really like Fire Punch, and I think it's important to read Fire Punch to understand the sort of evolution of Fujimoto as an artist, but I don't really know how I would do it. We'll give everyone just a few more seconds. I'm just taking a quick sip of water, and then we'll get started on the stream. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. And like I said, we are not starting from chapter 1. So if there's anyone out there who wants to watch the anime in October and wants to go in spoiler free, then this stream might not be for you. Have I read Kaiju? Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Kaiju number 8. That being said, I am behind on it, but still. For all the reasons I said in my previous videos, I dropped it at like chapter 60 something, I think. I dropped it like a year or two ago. Anyway, I stopped reading Magilumiere right before the time skip, so I'm excited to see how the time skip changes the manga. So we are on chapter 61, Manao and Shigemoto. And I'm going to do this like we did our other catch-up streams. I'm not necessarily going to read every single page. I'm just going to sort of share my thoughts as I go through these chapters. Alan Gordon just subscribed. Well, thank you, Alan Gordon. So it looks like we start with a flashback of Shigemoto when he was much younger. Interesting. I forgot what great character chemistry there is in this series. Just like reading all the different characters and the reactions. It's hilarious. So they're talking about the regulations on the magical girl powers, and it's Shigemoto and Manao, and he says, I'm having a hard time getting this under regulation. And Manao says, okay, so can't you just use some people and figure it out? And Shigemoto is like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh yeah, no, we'll just use experimental subjects. And he says, say you run an experiment on 5 magical girls. The annual revenue per girl is about 6 million, right? But that cost can be recovered within a month once the current system is developed successfully. Interesting. So yeah, that's kind of in character for Manao, the guy who would eventually come to lead the other company and be kind of suspect. Also, what's going on, Soul? How you doing today? How's the One Piece doing? The One Piece video doing, by the way? In case you're not aware, Soul, one of my handy-dandy editors, recently uploaded a One Piece video this weekend on how Egghead ruined One Piece's villains and changed the Marines. So if you're looking for an interesting Egghead video, make sure to check out Call Me Soul and watch his new One Piece video. Soul, by all means, feel free to link that in the chat. So Manao is doing the dirty work, but someone is pulling the strings. Interesting. So mystery villains. Someone who supports deregulation. Could it be AST? No. I still have faith in Koga. So we're introduced to Kamakura-san, New Japan Magic Energy Association president. Interesting. Kind of a gangster-looking, corporation-looking guy, smoking his cigar with all his fancy clothes. Thanks for the shout-out. Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, it's the least I can do to help a friend out. So this guy is saying public opinion is already moving towards deregulation. This man brought a whole case of cigars in the humidor and everything. This guy's a badass. Isn't Magilumiere getting an anime in the fall season? Yes, as a matter of fact, it's getting its very first season in October. So it's motivated me to catch up on the manga. I think I'm like 70 chapters behind. I'm on chapter 61 right now, and I think it's on chapter 124, something like that. So Koga says, if you're trying to win me over, I'll have to pass. I hate the bitter I hate the bitter taste of cigars anyway. So AST seemingly has some surprise to unveil. Interesting. So now we'll move on to chapter 62. Sol, did you link the video in the chat? You said that's the video? Anyway, let's see. So they're talking about how there was the recent incident in Kyoto, I think, or one of the Kai incidents, and it was man-made, and Shigemoto is telling everyone to keep it hush-hush. Maybe it's not going to pop up because I sent the link? Maybe. That could be it, actually. Hold on. I got you. There you go. If anyone is looking for a cool new One Piece video on Egghead Island and its impact on the villains of One Piece, then make sure to check out that video by my good pal Soul. So Shigemoto says we need to keep the truth to ourselves and refrain from saying anything more. If we speak up now, there's a chance the groups opposing the deregulation of magic power will take advantage of it. One goal of regulation was to preserve affected areas. Large-scale magic has a lot of destructive power. Under current regulations, surplus energy is diffused, but once regulations are removed, the growth of Kai would be unstoppable. Interesting. I wouldn't have considered that. Justin, what's going on? Pleasure to have you today. Good to see you. We're just reading some Magilumiere. If you're not caught up, then just be warned that there will be some spoilers for the later story. As a matter of fact, where we are right now is probably just about after where the anime will end. And yeah, Saul, no problem, man. I got you. So we cut to Kana, the main character, and she's walking around and she says, "Only a year ago, I was fully preoccupied with the jobs in front of me, but recently I've become more and more aware of the world around me. There are people who work while holding steadfast to their beliefs, in companies that have the same ends but vastly different means. And the work I personally do out in the field can have such a vast effect on the industry. Standards aren't something set by some far off group. Our company and I can set them too. Do I really have the strength to see that responsibility through to the end?" So that's a pretty inspiring theme. Being able to work at a company where even though it's only like 6 people, 7 people, you can change the industry for the better. I like that. On that note, we'll move on to chapter 63, but not before I have a bit of water. So Blazing Boy said, hold on one second. "In my opinion, Magilumiere revolutionized the magical girl genre because not only magic is mixed with tech, but the world building in the MG industry itself is great. Do you agree with me?" I refrain from taking a position on that only because I have not really read a lot of magical girl manga, and I haven't really watched any magical girl anime. That being said, I do think Magilumiere has the unique position where it is a magical girl series, and it does appeal to people who like that kind of story traditionally. But at the same time, it has the aspect of like the Kai and the technology and all the big laser attacks. And so it does also have a broader appeal to people who, say, traditionally like shonen manga, or, you know, might like mech series or science fiction or what have you. So it is pretty cool to have a series like this. I don't think there's anything quite like it. But has it revolutionized the genre? I can't say myself. So, chapter 63, we're introduced to this new character who has their hair in a man bun, I guess. I don't know, I thought they were a girl character at first, but then they said he. But they have a man bun. They've got these interesting boots that they're wearing. And they're having a meeting with, what's this guy's name? Kanemoto, the energy director. And he's got what looks like a Kai in this sort of big tank. Never heard of the series. It seems interesting. Yeah, man. The art style is really good. The art is awesome. MG means magical girl. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to make sure. The story is awesome. I really love the characters and they have great chemistry, so I would highly recommend checking it out. Or at the very least, wait for the anime. I will say one thing I like about this series is it doesn't make the mistake of, say, My Hero Academia or similar series where like it introduces like a dozen characters all at once and then like forces itself to characterize them one at a time, as opposed to Magilumiere starts very small. Like the main cast is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you start with just 5 characters, really. And that main cast is slowly built up. I mean, chapter 1 you have 5 characters, and by chapter 63 there are side characters obviously and villains and antagonists, but I mean, our main crew has only gone up to like 8 characters, I think. And they're all like pretty fleshed out for the most part. So that's one thing I really like about Magilumiere is it has a sizable amount of characters, but it actually takes the time to flesh them out before it throws more characters into the story. So Kana, or Sakuragi, is saying, you know, this is all kind of overwhelming. We're the small little company, and yet we have this path of changing the industry, and I don't really know if I'm ready for all that. And one of the other characters says, you're right to feel that way. It's much more dangerous to stop thinking in the face of something big. Keep worrying. That's what will sustain you through this. I think that's an incredibly profound statement. So it just goes to show, like, the series is cute, it's funny, it's cool, it's action packed, but it's got a lot of heart to it. So Midorikawa is talking to Shigemoto, and they're like, okay, we got to figure out what's going to happen next with all these deregulation people and the man-made Kai. And Midorikawa seems to have evidence that the next target is Tokyo Bay, which is huge. I mean, that's Tokyo. It's like a terrorist attack, basically. Oh, so that's fun fact. Did you know this story is by one of Tabata's assistants? I did not know that off the top of my head. Now that you mention it, I feel like someone has told me that before. Um, it's funny because I feel like if anything, it kind of looks like My Hero Academia, like back in the day. If you look at the first few volumes of My Hero Academia, I feel like that's what it looks the most like. Um, but I can definitely see, like, story-wise and character-wise, what this has in common with Black Clover. They're both, like, very cartoony, but they both have a lot of heart. That's awesome. I love that someone that worked for Tabata has a series that's doing well enough to get an anime. I'll definitely have to reread this series at some point because it's been a hot minute since I familiarized myself with the characters. I pretty much remember the whole story so far, up to chapter 64 anyway. Um, it's just, there's a lot of characters, and I mostly remember their backstories. I don't know. So, Magilumiere has, in their own research, discovered that Kamakura, the head of the New Japan Magic Energy Association, is in fact the one behind the man-made Kai attacks. And so they're trying to figure out how to stop the next one. So Kamakura announces that they'll release the Kai that they've created in 3 days. So each of the corporations, Magilumiere, and then I believe the other one is AST, they each have 3 days to train to stop this Kai, or at least to stop it. But just from the glimpse, it's got all these arms and hands. It seems like the most threatening of the Kai we've seen yet. So Kana runs into Tsuchiba, the magical girl from Koga's company, the one who's kind of scary looking. And so Kana is reading a book, and Tsuchiba says, "What is that?" "Oh, you mean this book? My coworker lent it to me. I couldn't finish it at work, so..." She says, "Not that." And she says, "No, not that, that." And she's got this bookmark of a magical girl, and she's explaining that she's had it forever. And she looks at Tsuchiba, and she looks like she's ready to break into tears. And it's barely Spice, the magical girl that Shigemoto seems to be a big fan of. And for the first time in the story, Tsuchiba actually smiles, her face glows. And then, of course, when she realizes that she's being kind of a dork, she snaps right back. And so they're talking about their interest in the Pretty Spice show, the magical girl show. And Tsuchiba, who has been kind of a cold character for the whole series, is finally like, this is fun. It's nice to be able to talk to somebody like this. That was a nice chapter. I think that's exactly what we needed for a character like Tsuchiba. But on that note, we are on chapter 66. What I'd like to do is try and read up to the time skip. Let's see. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like I'm going to get there today, as it looks like that's at chapter 78 and I'm on chapter 66. So depending on where this arc starts or where this fight starts, I might end the stream in the next few chapters, but we'll see. Till what chapter will I read? I'm not sure, because it says that the time skip is at chapter 78. We're 40 minutes into the stream. I don't want the stream to be too much longer, but that's another 12 chapters. So maybe another 2 or 3 chapters, depending on where this fight starts. But we'll see. So what's his name? This mysterious character with the man bun is at a hotel or something, talking to Kanamura, it seems like. He says, "Yep, we're all good. The Kai's release is going just as predicted." So he's sitting in what seems to be like a hotel, having pancakes. Hey, I'm seriously monitoring the situation. Nothing strange has come up yet, not like it would matter anyway. Don't worry your pretty little head. I haven't let anyone near it. And his parfait, whatever you call it, the dessert, seems to have turned into this big mass of dessert. So it's very weird. So they're monitoring Tokyo Bay, and it's oddly quiet, and they're trying to figure out when this attack is going to happen. So, of course, as Mr. Man Bun here is eating his weird breakfast, the Kai that we saw in the previous chapter storms up from the ocean with all of its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arms. I do have to say I'm noticing that the paneling is very nice in this manga. Yeah, so the attack is just starting on Tokyo Bay, so I think I'm going to stop there just for my sake. So I ended on chapter, what is it? Chapter 66, and the next chapter would be 67. So we'll try and do another Magilumiere stream. Maybe the next time Chainsaw Man takes a break. But I would like to catch up before the anime starts. On that note, thank you for everyone who joined the stream today. Again, obviously we didn't have Chainsaw Man this week, but I believe it's back next week. In any event, look out for an update for that My Hero stream. Unfortunately, we had to delay that one to this week, so I will be making an official announcement about that sometime either today or tomorrow. On that note, again, thank you to everyone. Great discussion as always, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.